So for the next video, I would like to talk about vaccine myths. And what is a vaccine myth? So basically, a vaccine myth is a false belief created due to misinformation spread on vaccines. Recently, there's been an anti-vaccine community that has grown larger and larger, mainly really ever since COVID-19 started affecting people's lives early 2020. The spread of misinformation has caused uncertainty. Now people are scared to get vaccines, are not sure if vaccines are the right option. And for this video, basically, I just want to bring up 5 common vaccine myths and to debunk them, and basically explain why these myths are completely inaccurate and have no validity to them. So the first myth is the ingredients in vaccines are dangerous. This is completely false. If you look at this screen, you see the types of ingredients in vaccines. You got the adjuvants. They increase immune response to a vaccine. Antigens, it's basically the virus or the bacteria that is going to, if you do get it, that it's going to cause a certain illness. And basically, we put it in the vaccine, a very small amount. Sometimes it's inactivated, sometimes it's live, but a very small amount. Sometimes it's only a part of the antigen, but we put that in so the body can actually respond to it. So when you do come into contact with that antigen, again, in the real world, your body has the antibodies to respond to it. There's also fluids. Usually it's sterilized water, and this is basically water that you put it in the vaccine, so when you inject it into your arm, it actually flows freely into your arm and into your body. You don't want it to be like a semi-solid or anything like that. You would want it to be a fluid, because that's the fastest way of transport in the body. And preservatives and stabilizers. The preservatives, they basically are put in the vaccine at very small amounts, and their job is to basically make the vaccine last longer, have a longer shelf life. You don't want a vaccine to be useless after a day or two, so that way you save more money. Companies save more money. Vaccines are a lot cheaper with preservatives. And with stabilizers, that basically makes sure the vaccine is stable. It makes sure that there is no extra or bacteria or viruses that enter the vaccine that could be injected into your body and cause illness. So it gives you extra protection. And a lot of these ingredients, so one of the biggest issues with ingredients in a vaccine, they have a lot of big names, and that scares people. But a lot of times, a lot of those names or those ingredients, they're found in our foods, they're found in other products. And most importantly, these ingredients are in very, very small amounts, so they don't do damage to your body. So for the second myth, natural immunity I get from being sick with COVID-19 is better than immunity I get from a COVID-19 vaccination or any vaccination. So this is completely false. So natural immunity is basically you get the virus or the disease or whatever, you get sick and your body naturally builds immunity to it. The downside to that is you actually get the symptoms. You get sick. You are out of work or school or whatever for a couple of weeks. And the scary thing is, sometimes you might not even get natural immunity. For example, with tetanus, you can get tetanus many times in your life. You don't get immunity from it if you get it. That's why a vaccine is very important. And also, some of the symptoms that you get, they can last a lifetime. With COVID-19, there's some people that have had brain fog, and they still have that, and that probably will stick with them for the rest of their lives. So it's definitely a lot safer to get the vaccine and have the vaccine that's injected into your body start getting, so your body can start building antibodies towards that disease. And that way, when you do come into contact with that disease in the real world, you'll be protected. Now for the third myth, vaccines cause autism. This is one of the bigger ones. It originally started when Andrew Wakefield, who was a former surgeon, he came out with a published article in the Lancet back in 1997. And he basically came out and said, oh, vaccines cause autism. And because, he's a doctor, he's very knowledgeable, people believe him. So unfortunately with that, what people don't know is Andrew Wakefield was trying to create his own measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine to make profit on his own. So he was trying to spread lies to the public, telling them that the MMR vaccine does cause autism. There have been many studies that have been done since then, and there's been no proof to show that vaccine or that the MMR vaccine or any vaccine causes autism. As a matter of fact, with autism, most doctors don't truly, scientists in general and doctors don't really know what is the cause of autism. We've done a better job of identifying people who have autism, but we don't really know what is the main reason why people do have autism. So it's completely wrong to say that vaccines cause autism. There have been many studies done. Some ingredients have been removed that supposedly cause autism, and it's been proven that autism rates have actually gone up even higher since then. So the downside to this is that even though Andrew Wakefield has been proven wrong and he's had his license basically removed, there's still people that still hold on to his words and believe what he said. And fortunately, it's not true, but unfortunately, there's many people that still believe him. Now, for the fourth myth, there's infant immune systems can't handle so many vaccines. This is not true at all. Studies have been done, and the amount of antibodies that a baby has, it can basically take on 10,000 vaccines at one time. Obviously, there's not 10,000 vaccines, but it just goes to show how much a baby's body, not even an adult body or a child's body, but a baby's body can handle that much. The immune system can never really be overworked. It constantly replenishes itself. And also, you got to remember, babies come across thousands of viruses and bacteria the moment they are born, and almost all of them come out perfectly fine and alive. So this idea that a baby can't handle vaccines like 2, 3, 4, 5, it's ridiculous. They can handle them just as well as we can as adults. Now for the fifth myth and the last myth, better hygiene and sanitation decrease infections, not vaccines. So some people believe that, being clean protects you from not getting diseases. This is also not true. Although hygiene is extremely important and essential, and when you are more clean, the chances of you getting a disease are lower. That is very true, but that overlooks how important a vaccine is. It's extremely important. One example is in the 1960s in the United States, there were roughly 400,000 cases of measles every year in the 1960s. Once a vaccine came out in the 70s, it went down to 25,000 a year. And during this time period, hygiene did not drastically change. Obviously, if we're comparing the 60s to now, yes, there's been significant hygiene changes, but from the 60s and 70s, there has not been that much of a hygiene change. So they were, and even then, the measles rates have gone down drastically. So clearly vaccines are more important than just having the proper hygiene. And with that being said, here's my references. I wanted to thank everyone who has listened to my videos. I hope you've gotten something out of it. The point of these videos are for people to truly understand what a vaccine is, how it works, and why it's very important to get a vaccine. And of course, in other parts of the world where there isn't much knowledge on vaccines, people become hesitant of them because they're not knowledgeable. on the topic. And I hope with this video, you do have an idea what a vaccine is and that ultimately it is safe and it is the best option for your own health.